Hey guys, welcome to School Annual Website Demo. Tonight we're going to learn how to log on first, and then we're going to go through fonts, creating pages, flowing portraits, making folders, uploading images, and moving them around. When you start, you're going to go to schoolannualonline.com, and you will put in your job number, and you will use your username, and your password. If you don't know your username and password, you will want to reach out to your sales rep. Here we are in the home page, and you will see a countdown to due date. Now this is a demo site here, so it doesn't look exactly like yours just in this section. You will have a countdown clock going on. This is telling you that typically our cover artwork is due November 15th, and we do have leeway to work with our schools. This is your estimated ship date, so if you submit on the proper date that your rep gave you, you will have an estimated ship date here that will help keep you in line and know when you're going to be getting your books, which is about 7 days after this ship date. Page status, this tells you how many pages you have, how many have been started, in progress, completed, so you can kind of keep track that way. We're going to start by going to create. I'm going to jump around from this line across here a little bit because I like to start with the image library. You may need to allow or get Adobe Flash if you don't have that on your computer. Once we click create, we're then going to go into the image library. And this is just letting you know that there are different states of folders. You just click OK there. And this is where your portraits from your photographer will be. And this is anything we bring over from last year, if you were with us previously, and activity. And also you can see Clipart here. We love arrows. So you will click on these arrows and they will open up subfolders throughout. So within this portrait folder, there are several subfolders here, letting you know, tells you how many there are, and letting you see your staff and your students within each class, okay? You may close this by clicking on the arrow, and you may click on activity, and this will show you all folders that you have. We do start you out with a few folders, but you are always welcome to delete those folders, and the way that you can delete them is go into one here that doesn't have anything in it. If you click on it, you can go right up here to this black folder with a red X, and you will click, are you sure you want to delete Halloween? Yes. It will give you a red X, but once you refresh your screen or you go off of Image Library and go back into it, that folder will completely disappear. Now, within any of the folders that have more subfolders, you will see an arrow. So we have folder or images here with our dance and events. These aren't quite dance and events, but they are just really to show you different photos that we have on this site. This one is my demo site, so pictures that I have put on here for the purpose of helping you out. First day of school, academics. If you decide that you want to add a folder, you may add a folder in activity, and you just highlight your activity here and click this black folder with a green plus sign, and you can add. So if you want it to say track meet, you just go ahead and type that in, click OK, and you will see track meet. If you want to give it a subfolder inside, you can just highlight track meet, and you go back up to the black folder with a green plus sign, and you can put first grade meet, and you will now have a folder inside of the folder, okay? If you have an image that you would like to move from one of your folders into another folder, it's really easy, and you just left click and you can drag it into a different folder. So Once it loads, you can click refresh and go back in here, and you will find your image in there. Sometimes they will move over right away and you will see them, and sometimes you will have to refresh your screen. If you would like to upload an image into a folder, as an advisor, you have an easy way to do this. You just click on the folder you would like your image to go into, and you click Upload. And then you can click Add File, okay? And you can go in, and you may load a picture. And once it's done, it will turn green and you may done uploading, okay? Again, you can take this and you can move it to any of your other folders. And there it is. Now, we can close this folder out and you may view your clip art right from here. And this just shows you the different folders that we have, and all of them subcategories here, academic. So any clip art we have is right inside here, okay? You can go down through and you can look at all of the different ones, and if you scroll down further, you will come across quick creator themes. These are popular themes that we have put together, and you may open these up. So we have chevron and there's chalkboard. Some that are more in a rectangle are meant to be backgrounds. You may use them smaller on the page, and I can show you that later. But some of these are not meant to be backgrounds. They are just meant to be clip art that gets placed on the page. These are all of the different clip arts. So we have thousands of clip arts to help decorate and personalize your yearbook. So this is your image library, okay? We discussed uploading an image, moving images to the folder, and making folders, okay? So now we are going to jump into plan, which we're going to go backwards a little bit here. This will show you your page ladder. This page ladder is an overview of all of the pages that you have. And as you scroll down, you can see all of the pages that are here. You may add a description to them by clicking right here in description and typing something in. Anytime you add a description, you want to make sure that you click Save All. What this does is it makes sure that anything that you changed or you added is saved here. All right, it's great for the next year if you would like to bring forward the pages and the descriptions that you worked this year, because you will be able to load them and you will have your descriptions from last year. This is also where you will submit pages, but that's something that we'll discuss later on. Just getting started with the yearbook right now, we don't need to discuss submitting the pages already. So this is a place where you will do that. Now we're going to jump to create, back to where the image library was, but we are going to go into Page Designer. If you go to this right side, I like to call this a ladder, and you click on Pages, it gives you again an overview of all the pages you have. You may quickly get to a page by clicking on it right from here, and this will take you to whatever page you click on. This is called a double page spread. This is a single page. Your first page and last page will be single pages. So going through some of the pages here, you may see some of the different things that have been worked on throughout the year. And we're going to talk about layouts, backgrounds, adding clip art, and flowing pages here, okay? So let's go down here to these blank pages, and let's talk about the buttons across the top here. This button here is a little symbol. It looks like a game piece to me. If you click right on it, it will drop an image box for you. You may stretch your image box and make it bigger. You can make it smaller. All right. What you will do with that on the right-hand side is you will go into Images where all of your photos are stored. And here is a drop-down, and you may choose a folder. And you can bring it on over. And when it highlights green, that means that the image is large enough to fit in that box. If it were to highlight in red, that means the image is not a high enough resolution to fit in the size box that you want it to. So you will have to make sure that all of your images are JPEGs and that they are at least 300 DPI quality. Once you have it in here, again, you can stretch it out, and you may also double-click on it where you can zoom, and then you can left-click and you can drag it around to center. You may also add a border to that, which we call stroke, by going into Format on the right-hand side, and it says Stroke in Formatting, and you may choose the thickness. And right here, you can choose the color that you would like your border to be. You may make it thicker. And if you change your mind and decide you don't want a border on it or a stroke, you can click back into the color box and click None, and it will take it away. You also can go down here, again, you're still in Formatting, and you can change the shape. Stretch it. And if you hover over while it's highlighted, you will see a 4-point star on your cursor, your mouse there, and you can drag it anywhere you want. Okay. You also can go into Images, and you can bring an image over without a image box. So this is saying that we have a duplicate image. This photo image has been placed somewhere else on the page. Are you sure you want to use this? Yes. And it just lets you know that. So if you've used it somewhere else and you don't want to have it in your book twice, then it's reminding you, hey, you already used that. So we can zoom in on this image. You can double click to zoom in. And again, you can stretch that out as well. You can center it back up if you want to. And we'll just move this up top, okay? The next box over here is an A+. That is a text box. By default, anytime you drop a box down, it will go to the left-hand side. You may hover over it till you get the 4-point star, like I said, and move it anywhere you want. What I like to do with the text box is once I click on it, I click off, go back and double click it so it highlights everything on the screen, and then I click delete. That gets rid of the lorem ipsum, the Latin that's in there. The Latin only serves to let you know that there is a text box there and it's just font that you need to fill in, okay? Once you're here, you can see the cursor is flashing inside the text box. You will go over to Format. You will spend a lot of time in Format, and you can go right here to your fonts, and I have a few fonts already here, but we will talk about that in just a moment. And you can pick your point size, how large you want it, and the color of font that you would like. Go back over here. You may type in here. You can go back and you can make it larger if you would like to fill. You also spread this so that it's long. And within that box, you may place it in the middle, to the right side, to the left side. If you place it in the middle here, you can again drag this wherever you would like. Now, while you have this box, when you click off of it, there's nothing around it. You may go over here to stroke, and you may add a border around it again, or a stroke. You may also fill, and that means you're coloring the inside of the box. All right. If you decide you don't want that to be, you can go right in here and you can click right off of it. And you can go here and you can take the border off. Something else that you can do in format, you can click on effects and you may provide it with a drop shadow. And you can move that drop shadow around anywhere you would like it to face. And you can make the distance of that further away. You can make the strength of it so you can see it a little bit more. Okay, now we can go over here to this next color box. So you have your image box, text box, and now you have a color box. If you click on that box, it will drop a gray shape. Square, and gray is our default color, and you can go over here into format and formatting, and you can change the color of that box. You also can make it a background by going down here to make background and clicking on that. Something else we can do with the text, now that we have a background on it and you can see, is go into format and effects. We can take the drop shadow off and we could add a glow. And you may make it blurrier. You can make the strength of it stronger. Okay. Something else that you can do with the color box is you can make shapes. If you click the drop down here, add a heart and just shapes. You may also layer them and you may change the color of those as well. I'll make it pink. Who doesn't like a pink heart? And you can add these shapes, and also you can arrange the shapes so that they go behind and they are layered. So if you drop another box, you can go in here and you can arrange it so that they're layered. And maybe you want one side to be layered and not the other. Okay, so this will give you some shapes. This gives you your font and images. Now we are also going to talk a little bit about going across here. You can use your Save button right here by clicking on File, or you may go over here to this Save button. Please remember to save anything that you do. What's great about this is anything you ever save, you can go over here to the right side, this ladder, and click on History. Anything that has ever been done on this page and saved will show up and it will have a date. So if you decide that you want something that was here before you changed it, you can simply just drag it over and place it on the page. Okay? Okay, now let's talk a little bit about fonts before we get into flowing pages. In fonts, right here is where you will see anything you have. When we start you out each site, you will have two basic fonts, but you can add fonts. You can add as many fonts as you would like. However, we recommend about 10 fonts. You don't want the book to look too mishmashy. You do want them to have a nice flow to them and go together well. We have hundreds of fonts, so to add fonts and choose some that you like, you'll click on Add Fonts. Right here are 5 categories to choose from. So if you start with a serif body, anything that's here, all of these are different types, and you may click on one and it will show you every letter and every number what it looks like. If you decide you don't like that, you just keep on scrolling down until you find one that you do. When you find one you like, this arrow right here will add it to your collection. If you decide that there are some that you don't like, you can go right in here, highlight the one in your collection, and click the arrow, and it will put it back. So this is where all of your fonts are based on these folders. So here are script. Anything I have chosen in script is over here. Again, you may click. You can see everything that's here. If you decide you like it, you may add it to your collection. When you're done, you click close. Now, anything that you've chosen will be right here. So if you would like to go up here and change this font, you see right there, all you have to do is drop this down and it will change it. Once you change, you may have to change your point size to smaller or larger, but depending on the font itself. Okay, so now what we're going to do is I'm going to get rid of these things that I put on here, and we are going to talk about templates. What I did here was just start here, and I call this a lasso, and this will highlight everything on your page. And you click delete on your keyboard, and these were layered, so the images were over top of these, so I need to delete those again. And my whole page is clean now, and I'm going to press save. But again, it's here in history what I was working on, and it shows me page 38, this is the history. Now we're going to go into designs on the right-hand side. And if you drop down, this is where all of our templates are. So if we want to look for portraits, okay, I'm going to look for something for, say, Mrs. Jones' class, and she has 22 students. And I know that because I looked at that in Image Library, so I know how many she has in there. And to show you that, right here is Jones, and she has 22 kiddos in her class. Okay, so we'll go back to Page Designer, and I will look for portraits that will have 21 to 30, they sort of group them. So we have 21 to 30, so we have some different layouts that we may look at. We can put one on the page. And this is going to give me just one page, and you can see that there are 5 across and there are 6. So I will have plenty of space here. So you can take this text box that's here and you may get rid of it, or you can click on it, delete, and then you can type in, I can say, Mrs. Jones. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go to Flow. This drop-down will have everyone in portrait. The only images that you can flow are portrait images. So you will go in here and find the folder, this is Jones, and I must have had that flowed on page 31 before because that's where it took me to. So what we're going to do, I reset it off of there, which is no problem. You will go back to page 30. Oh, it deleted my template. So let's go back in here and find our template one more time. Try this one more time here. And we'll delete that and put Mrs. Jones. We'll go back into Flow, and here is Jones. You can preview, And what this will show you is that this image will go with this text box, so the name is going to flow there. And this is a clean template, so everything will flow accordingly. We will click the flow button, and there is your pages already done, and you don't need to worry about adding names, and you don't need to worry about adding pictures. When you decide that you don't have any more kids coming into your class, you may use your red lasso by dragging it from the end. It'll highlight everything and click delete. And you can add Clipart down here by going into images. And we will click on this drop down and close this folder, close activity, and we will go to Clipart, and we can find and what's nice about our Clipart is you can go into format, and it says flip and rotate. I can flip him so he's facing this way. So if it makes sense for them to be facing a certain way, you also can tilt them anywhere you want. We're going to keep him straight. And we'll bring this guy right down here to the end. And we can go back in here, and we can add some more friends if we want to. If you put it too low, it could get cut off when it prints, so you want to make sure you keep them above these lines here. And you can shrink him down so maybe he's a little bit smaller. Okay, so here's some clip art. When you're done, you will press save. You also, in here, while we're talking about clip art, let's talk a little bit about backgrounds with clip art backgrounds and themes and designed backgrounds. I'm just going to choose the folder Backgrounds SAO, but there are backgrounds throughout the folders, okay? You can go through here and you can choose a background. And there are several backgrounds. And we can bring this over here. You don't want to lay it on top of an image because it will try to take over. So your image box, your images, it'll try to take over that. It doesn't realize that you want to use it behind. It thinks you're going to take over one of these boxes. So just lay it off to the side a little bit, and then you will go over to Format, and you can click Make Background. And this will give you a background here. Also, maybe you like the background, but it's a little too bright for you. You can go into Formatting, in Format, and you can click Tint, and you can fade it out a little bit. It also, if you click here, it tells you what point that is. So it's 38. If you go in and you bring this clip art to this page as well, and click Format, Make Background, you can go here and you can scroll this to 38 so that it is the same shade. Okay? You also can make this look so they're not facing exactly the same way. You can highlight this and you can rotate. And you can flip it upside down if you want it to be completely different. And you can save. Okay. Now, let's look at a different template right here. Do you want to retain existing content? This will keep your background here. If you say no, it will get rid of this, and it will bring the template over with the plain background. Because I asked to keep it, it kept that background for me. These are text boxes here, and if you click on them, so if you want them, you can definitely keep them, but if you don't need all of these, you can highlight one and click delete. All the templates are editable, okay? So then you can go into Flow. And you can click Flow, and you can flow all of these images here into this, and their names will appear here, okay? All right, I think that's about all the time we have today. I really appreciate you taking the time to meet with us. I wish you much luck. Have a great day, and thanks for visiting our demo.